Hey y'all, it's Redneck Biker 109. Hey, I've got a couple requests from different subscribers regarding my camera and helmet setup. So what I thought I'd show you is I give you a look at my helmet, which is an Arai Signet Q. The helmet brand really doesn't matter all that much. I guess you just get whatever you're comfortable with and like. And what I'm using, and a lot of people use a GoPro, but I use a Drift HD Ghost S. It's a really good camera. I really like it. I preferred it over the reason I went with it over the GoPros is just because I like the mounting options better, and I felt like it was a little more aerodynamic, and just the interface and usability for me was a lot better. And you know, if Nikon made one, I would go with a Nikon. I was a professional photographer for the most of my life, and so, you know, of course, like I said, if Nikon made one, that's what I would go with. Clearly, I'm not filming on that now. I'm filming on a Nikon camera. It has a still and movie feature. The first thing you're going to want to do with your helmet and any mounting option, whether you're mounting a GoPro or you're mounting a Drift, pardon me, is the view you want. You can look around YouTube and look at other vloggers and see kind of what their setup is and what they're doing, and then, like I said, most of them will tell you exactly what it is they've got going on. So for the Drift, I have it mounted with an adhesive mount right here on the side of the helmet, and at first I was a little leery of the adhesive mount, but it really works really well. I've had no issues with it. It hasn't come off ever. I kind of played with where I was going to put it first, decided on putting it there on the side of my helmet versus on the top. I like that side profile view versus all the other views that I've seen. I cleaned the helmet really good, and you know, alcohol or acetone or something like that. Unless you like, well, my helmet has a finish on it, so I just used just regular rubbing alcohol because I've got the U.S. flag on the side of it, and I was worried that it might take off the clear coat or something like that. So I just cleaned it really well, and also my helmet was brand new too, so it was also clean to begin with. So once you get that on your camera, then you'll mount your camera to the mount, and then you'll need to look at the perspective your camera gets, because now if you're looking at it, you can see the tilt on that camera, you know, and how that looks. But once you put that camera on your head, or the helmet on your head, then it changes perspective of the camera. So then or your viewing angle, or whatever you want to call it. So once you get it on there, then you can mess with your camera settings and how wide of a shot you want with your camera. And I won't go into all the camera settings. That's something that, like the Drift has an app, and so of course you can look at what your camera is doing with your phone, so you can fine tune it. And then with the Drift, you can detach it, and then you can see there on the back, you just make that, it's a little thumb screw, and just turn it on there, and it gets really tight and it won't move. It never moves. I have mine marked on the sides, which you can't see way down in there, so that, like, I've mounted it, I've got another mount on my motorbike where I can mount the camera actually to the motorbike as well. So once it's mounted and set up, then you go. The next thing you want to do is microphone placement. For me, audio is important. You know, I want to make sure my audio is clear. I have a friend that is, you know, his settings, I don't know what well, I know what he's doing. He's running everything through too much stuff. And his audio is miserable, and sometimes it makes it unbearable to watch, but he'll figure it out. So this is just very, very simple. There's really no need to tie it into a Sena or all that other stuff unless you just want to. But then again, you got to realize that more things you put in the chain, then more likely that chain's going to break. So this is real simple. It works, and it's not going to fail. With that said, then what I did was I figured out where the microphone would be best for me to talk into the camera and narrate while I'm riding. So I took all the stuff out of the helmet, all the padding and everything. And then if you can see right there, you see that little black circle right there, that's my microphone. And so I have it run all the way through those settings right there. And you can see how that just goes right into the edge of the helmet, underneath the lining. And actually, of course, the wire for the microphone's a lot longer than that. And I just have it curled up and zip tied in there. Well, actually, it's not zip tied. I think I used one of those wire ties from like you see on bread or whatever, and it works fine. And so that's how it runs. All the wires, bound up in there behind the cheek pad. And then it comes out the side and you just plug it in, you're good to go. And that's pretty much it. And it works. Like I said, if you look at some of my other videos where I'm talking or whatever, there's no distortion, there's no any issues with the audio whatsoever. And it works. It's simple and it works. And I'm sure you've all heard, keep it simple, stupid. Well, that's what I've done. It's just real simple. I can't mess it up. There's no links in the chain to break. And so there you have it. And that's a Drift it's a Drift HD Ghost S. I shoot in 1080p, 60 frames a second. Can't really go wrong with that. If you have any questions about the setup, or leave some questions down there in comments, or before I get to that though, one thing I did fail to mention is that the microphone setting on the camera is at a 1, and I got that, and the person who told me to do that was Phil Jones UK, and I kind of stole his video camera settings, and it works because it's also simple. And like I said, there's no links in the chain to break. So if you have any other questions or want me to shoot something else, or want to see what any of my other setup options are, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.